Right, so I'm here in Bolton, and across from us there's a gathering of pro-EU demonstrators. Been told that one of them is an ex-Tory that's turned Lib Dem, through reasons why we're going to find out. But this is the scene right now. This is them. We can turn around. Over there in the corner, they got their EU pro bullshit. Now here in Bolton, 54.9% of people voted to leave. So
Okay, then. So why are we today?
So we've come down today because there's a group of people, predominantly left Green Party members, some Labour members, who have put on an event to tell the people of Bolton that we don't want Brexit. So they're speaking on behalf of us, when in fact the people of Bolton voted overwhelmingly for Brexit. There was a 70% turnout in the referendum in Bolton, and 58.3% of them voted for Brexit. So we're going to ask them who they're representing and what it's all about, and why they keep trying to put this kind of thing down our throat and tell us that we must have we must stay in the European Union.
Right, can I just ask you a couple of questions? Right, so in the past you've campaigned with some of these people on issues like bedroom tax and things to do with council tax and various other bits and bobs, I take it, yeah? So you do actually know many of these people.
So I know many of these people, and as a left-leaning person myself, I've campaigned for many of these social injustices like the bedroom tax and against poverty and austerity and things like that. But the left has become so extreme now. These are extreme left people who, if you try and question anything or speak out about things or have a rational conversation with them, you're automatically branded a right-wing neo-Nazi. You're branded a racist just for asking questions.
So just a question here, right? So did these people turn on you at the point that they realised you were a Brexiteer?
The vast majority of them, yes. So when I was campaigning out on the streets of Bolton, online and out in the community for Brexit, putting my argument forward, a lot of the people started to turn on me, unfriend me, say that I was a racist, that I was a right-wing extremist. Some of them even said that I was a terrorist.
And this is all because you spoke out against the leaving the EU.
Because I highlighted the issues and concerns that I had with the EU, and put a few facts on the table, and also exercised my democratic right to leave the European Union.
So in the past you've worked with unions and various other things?
Absolutely, yeah. I've worked with unions, I've worked with people from unions, I've supported them, I've been out on the streets, on marches and rallies and campaigns, fighting for a lot of the wrong things in society, the injustices that have been done. And I've been out there fighting for workers' rights and lots of other things, as I pointed out earlier.
Okay. Do you think that, well, in your own opinion, do you think that having the yellow vest is how would I explain this? Wearing the yellow vest, does that give you cause to pursue your own views on why you left? Is it the reason behind wearing a yellow vest that made you want to leave the EU because of corruption, because of everything that was going on, or was it because of your own nationalist views on why you want to leave?
I think
that's what I'm getting at. Like from a right point of view, the whole thing about nationalism, about racism, that would be a very poignant thing to say and a reason why you'd want to leave. But you have people over there that obviously they're from different sectors of society. They're from the Green Party, from the Labour Party. These are all left-wing associated kinds of people who want that to stay in the EU because of what they've been told, perhaps. But from a right-wing point of view, which I am, conservative point, is it not better to have nationalism, to keep your own sovereign identity, instead of selling it out to the likes of Donald Tusk, to Jean-Claude Juncker?
Absolutely, yeah. So, in answer to your question, the first part, for me, the yellow vest is unity. It represents unity against the establishment.
And there's no left or right. There's no politics at all.
There's no polarisation. For me, there's no polarisation in the yellow vest. It's a fight for freedom and justice against the elites and against the establishment, and
against corruption.
And against corruption. And I do think and I do feel that it is important to stand with the people united on a united front against, you know, all the wrongs in the world, again, which are being created by the establishment. And part of that is the European Union taking our identity away from us, imposing regulations and rules on us, not only in a way that violates our sovereignty, but also in a very undemocratic way. So people, I've heard arguments saying, well, if you're not part of the European Union, then you know you can't make legislation and have a say in it. Absolute rubbish. That if what happens in the European Union, the way that it works is unelected bureaucrats come up with proposals for legislation and then give that to the European Parliament to vote on. So the European Parliament isn't actually creating any legislation at all.
No,
what they're doing is just saying yes or no to somebody else's proposal.
Well, from a libertarian perspective, I see that as really authoritarian. Yeah, when you have unelected officials basically making rules for people.
One rule doesn't suit everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, if I vote for an MEP, yeah, I expect that MEP to actually have real power to create laws, but actually they don't. Like Damien just said a minute ago. Now, from a point of view of liberty, I find that a scary proposition that somebody who's unelected, like Donald Tusk or Jean-Claude Juncker, Michel Barnier, can actually make a decision for any of us. I mean, it really is a scary, scary thought. Yeah, but I think this is where, like, people like Damien on the left and Alex on the right and myself as a libertarian, we can actually agree that kind of corruption needs to be stamped out. Yeah, so to assume that there isn't any common ground between the left, the right, and the centre on this is foolhardy at first by the extreme leftists.
Okay, so we got a libertarian, we got a lefty, and me on the right. You know, you can't get any better from society, right? You got to have an equal, well-rounded argument. Now, you can't just be biased towards one. You have to take in other people's points of view, and you have to, absolutely right, and you have to come to an agreement on the issues that are actually we are facing today as not just here in Bolton, but UK-wide. You have...
well, that's how democracy should work,
it's about being in a...
To settle those differences between different points of view. If we start to ignore that, we're on dangerous territory. I wouldn't think of ignoring a right-wing perspective or a left-wing perspective, because I prefer to have a situation where there's discourse between all of us and we can actually solve problems rather than argue with each other and become really polarised to an almost dangerous degree. I mean, I don't know if that's something you could agree on as a right-winger, but would you say that polarisation is a big problem?
In this day and age, I do believe so. My personal point of view is that there has to be hierarchy in any society. There has to be a system of where people do make rules, but I don't know. Times have changed, and if we don't change with them, unfortunately, I see ourselves getting left behind. You know, we're going to be overrun by mass immigration, by we're losing our freedom. We're losing our freedoms. I think it's very much what the yellow vest represents is that unity, is about voicing our concerns against the people that are doing our country, doing their own people injustice.
So you see it as a fight for liberty and freedom?
The yellow vest?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would absolutely agree with that.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. So this morning I was watching a live stream of the French people protesting against Macron, the yellow vest
Jupiter
movement, which is where all of this has kind of stemmed from, or initiated from. And I saw a great big banner which a number of people were holding, and it was calling for a Brexit referendum. So the French people, and I've seen, are asking for a referendum as well. So we've seen it in Greece, we've seen it in Italy, we've seen it in France, we've seen it in Spain.
Well, this seems to be a common theme. It's not just, I wouldn't just say it's just about Brexit or Brexit or anything. What I'm seeing right the way across Europe at the moment is a big move towards people wanting to be able to trigger referendums themselves through the means like petitions and stuff like that. So like
They want
the RIC movement in France, or
that in itself is being
yeah.
it's been sabotaged and hijacked by
Can you just
that
explain
Roman
what the RIC movement is for us?
Right. So the RIC movement is the
referendum initiated by citizens.
by the citizens. That's correct. And the whole point behind it is that you have everyday people making decisions on laws and policies that the government make. However, it's people like Roman Light that are using that as a political gains and as for his own charterism ideologies, his own charterism beliefs, where the whole RIC movement it's losing cause.
But anyway, yeah,
I see it.
so Jerome Rodriguez on a different side of things in France
Right.
is also asking for direct democracy as well, yeah? And in previous videos, Damien's mentioned how he wants direct democracy, and myself as a libertarian, I've always supported direct democracy.
I think that's one of the things that we're calling for. You know, with the European Union, even the British government and individual sovereign states are not democratic at all in the slightest. And we keep going on as a society that we're a democratic society, and we keep saying how we have the best democratic systems in the world, but it's actually not true. We first of all, the kind of system we have, first past the post system, isn't really representative of how people vote. And then when people are elected, then politicians that they've elected suddenly switch off and disengage with the people and make all the decisions for them. So there is no real democracy there. And what many of these people want, including myself and you guys and a lot of people across mainland Europe, and particularly the Yellow Vest movement,
And from all political spheres
from
as
all
well.
political spheres, they want a true direct democracy. They want to have a say on what happens in their lives. You know, how society.
In that fact, right. So, in your own opinion, what would be the best course of action to take to come to an agreement with all parties on a movement like this? Something along the lines of what the RIC has is
Well,
being generated in
what we've got at the moment
France.
is we've got the technology to implement. You know, we're now in an age where we can implement almost anything in terms of controlling democracy. So we can use smartphones, tablets. We can open up libraries. We can put computers in. We've got you know, access
We're going to get onto
internet.
blockchain democracy here. With
And
this
what we
kind
can
of
do,
thing.
we can use that access to technology to instantly vote on things, and using infallible technologies like blockchain technologies, as you mentioned, James.
Well, if you think about it, we all vote every day anyway, don't we? Because every time you click like on a video on YouTube, you kind of put in a vote for it. If you press dislike, you put a vote up for it. The same thing happens on Facebook, and I mean, yeah, I take it you do actually use those functions on those things, yeah?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I use social media, and if I dislike something, I put an angry face or a sad face, depending on what
Yeah.
it is.
So you,
And I
Alex,
like
as
it.
well.
So we are, you're right, we are voting, and we can
But,
use this
they're
instant technology.
non-meaningful votes,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're not-
right? All they are is just an indication or a poll, yeah. But what you're saying really is that ability to have the power to actually make our will have more meaning is there. Now, I mean, I'm in the camp that basically thinks that referendums should be triggered by a petition, yeah, and that old laws can be destroyed if they need to be, and new laws can be vetted through petitioning if people don't like them, and that we can actually trigger referendums on any new law that's been created, so long as it's done through petition. Now, would you agree with that on the left?
Yeah, I think that's one good way of doing it. So we can launch a petition or counteract a piece of legislation with a petition, and then if we go out to a wider audience, then we can have a referendum.
And do you think there should be implications on politicians who don't carry out the will of the people then, if that's the case?
Absolutely, but with that kind of system, if it's used across the board, we don't actually need politicians to represent us. We just need an administration. So we have a set of administrators that are making sure, within the parameters that we've allowed them to, that this thing happens, and you know, ensures that the civil service.
So
is
this is
coordinated.
separate to politicians, or
Yeah, we don't actually need. If we use technology.
Are
to
you
our
saying that we
ability-
don't need politicians if we
Correct,
have
yeah.
something like
Yeah,
this?
We just need an administration. Because the technology would replace that. You know, the people are making the decisions, not the politicians. So all we need the administration to do is to simply just
All right,
act
then.
out our wishes.
Okay, then I don't agree with this. Sorry, I must say I do not agree with it. Right, let me word this right. So,
This is
in
that
your
polarisation.
yeah. In your own opinion, then is it not a George Orwell Animal Farm situation where you're taking one set of you're placing one with another? As in, wouldn't the administrators become the politicians, thinking they have the power, and you still need a system? Yeah, but I disagree. You have to have a system in place that even holds those administrators to
Correct. You need
responsible.
a system in place, and that's what the administration will do.
But-
It will ensure that the system is operating correctly. So, for example, we'll have a referendum on whatever it might be. You know, the spend. You know, should we go to war? What the spend would be. The people will make the decision, and if we decide we're going to spend 20 billion in the next financial year on, for example,
artillery,
defence,
yeah,
on
defence.
defence, then you know that's it. The administration will then carry that out. They'll make sure that the purchasing is in place, and the civil services has put all the paperwork in place to purchase the necessary machinery. But what we won't need, because we're governing ourselves and deciding what laws and regulations and spending that we need to do, we don't actually need somebody to go and ask to say, you know, what show proposal, because it will be our proposal.
Okay, well let me ask you
That
a question.
creates a lot.
I want to ask both of you this question,
Right.
because my personal opinion is what you're suggesting there is a good idea on one level, but I also think that a very strong constitution needs to be bolted onto that, so that certain groups of people don't end up getting persecuted, and so that basically there are protections on civil liberties where basically a stupid referendum is triggered over something where effectively it ends up oppressing a particular set of people within the local population. Yeah, so I do think that you need to have a strong constitution to allow that to work. Now that's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Yeah. Now, would you agree that you need a strong constitution to back up what allows you to trigger a referendum in the first place?
I agree with that. You'll need a robust system in place, a strong constitution, and a framework which, you know, people don't just willy-nilly say, well, we want to have a referendum on this, that, and the other, which is going to exclude people from society. We need
which is what the left are doing.
Which is what the left are doing.
What the left are doing. You have remoaners. You have even ministers in Parliament saying that they want a second referendum. Look, there's 29th of March. We're in February now. There's about 35 odd days until we leave the EU. There's no chance in hell that in this kind of system that they will get a second referendum. There's just no chance. And I think that Mrs. May's my deal or no deal situation is going to end badly. I think that this is the problem with politicians, is they go round and round in circles until it gets to the point where it's their plan or no plan, and it's undemocratically wrong. It is wrong, absolutely. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are that, quite simply put, we have two of the worst leaders in the shadow leader in Jeremy Corbyn and the leader in Theresa May that we've ever had during my lifetime. They are terrible leaders, but
one's an IRA sympathiser.
One thing that really annoys me about both of them is that they lie all the time. They really do lie all the time. It's frightening how much they do lie, and that. It's just, it's got to stop that. Yeah, we need honesty and transparency from politicians, and we're just not getting that.
It doesn't happen though. In politics, there's no such thing as transparency at all.
Well, it's all spin, isn't it? Yeah.
The spin doctors.
Anyway, right.
And we need to change that. So we're here today to just question why these groups, these extreme left groups now, which have become extreme left groups, are telling the people of Bolton that we've had enough of this Brexit idea, and the people don't want it. When in fact, as I pointed out earlier on, the vote was cast, the referendum was cast, and 58.3% of the people of Bolton said we want to leave the European Union.
Now they have created a fantasy poll recently, haven't they? Where basically they're saying that the people of Bolton have now changed their mind, and I just don't believe that that's true at all. And anyway, if any of you watch this, any of the lefties in Bolton watch this video on YouTube, I want you to put the details down in the comments underneath and explain to me exactly where you got this information from in this poll that you have. I want to know where you got your information from, because quite frankly put, you are lying there. You are liars, yeah? So I want the information. I want you to prove that what you're saying is true. Prove it with facts. I need facts before I'll believe anything. Quite simply put, you've not put any facts forward as far as I can see. So provide that information if you watch this video, please.
Absolutely. So shall we go and speak to the
Let's go speak to them.
Let's ask them what it's all about.
So, just for the viewers, what are we actually? Where are we going now? What are we actually doing?
So we're in Bolton Town Centre, across from the town hall, and there's an event on today. A group of people have said that they want to basically stop Brexit in Bolton. You know, they want they're representing the Bolton people, and they want to stop Brexit. And the people of Bolton don't want Brexit, but as I've said before, the people of Bolton voted overwhelmingly in the referendum for Brexit, to leave the European Union, and it was a 70% turnout on the day of the referendum in Bolton, and the electorate 58.3% of them voted to leave the European Union. So it's very clear to me that it's completely the opposite of what these guys are saying. That Bolton, you know.
Well, let's go and ask them some questions.
Let's go ask them. Right guys, we're ready. We're going to go tackle real issues here.
Hi guys.
Hi. Hey, alright.
Gilets jaunes.
We just want to ask some questions.
So we've seen online.
Are you Gilets jaunes?
Yes. So we've seen online that people, this group of people here and so on, saying that the people of Bolton didn't want Brexit, but in fact, 58.3% of the people at Bolton in Bolton voted to leave the European Union.
Of a whole
No, they're not. Have I changed my mind?
Who's changing the mind?
I'm not saying you have.
Who is changing the mind? Because where are these figures?
Where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence?
There's
There is no evidence.
absolutely no evidence.
There is
no evidence.
So what you're basically saying is non-factual.
I'm not on their side, I'm arguing with them.
Sorry?
I'm on your side.
You're very nice to meet you, man. Very nice to meet you.
I'll explain now, right? So what we've got, we've got
in the public about what their views are. So you're getting a bit in the way of what we're trying to do.
we just wanted to ask some questions.
We're on
actually.
public ground,
So what we've got,
we have.
Yeah, if you just step to one side.
basically what we've got is we've got. I'm a libertarian. Alex here is a conservative. Yes,
And we have
Damien's
a
on the
left.
left.
On the left.
Well, I voted just about for every party that goes.
What we're trying to do is challenge the polarisation in society between the left and the right. Yeah. So we've come down to speak to people about their views on Brexit and about things like direct democracy and various other things like that. So
There is no
If
democracy
you can give us
in the European
your
Union.
opinions on what
No,
Damien
it's an
just said.
authoritarian.
This is a thin veneer. 750 MEPs are a thin veneer of democracy. They are not there for any other reason than to placate the masses. All across Europe, Europe is on fire, or it will be very soon. The reality of it is that how many people in this country, the UK, know that 20 people have died on the streets of France since November last
I'm
year?
personally involved in the Gilets jaunes movement. I'm the
20
voice
people
of
have given their lives.
It's very much
There are a
true.
number of people who have lost hands, who've lost eyes, not on the BBC.
No,
The BBC want to make everyone soothe the wounds and think that we are leaving the most amazing union in the world, and we are not. We're leaving an absolute nightmare. When you wake up, we'll be out and we'll be free.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more with you. Well done. Well done.
I'm asking people.
No,
Actually, to your point, we're asking people, we're getting people to talk.
Sorry, we're on public property. So we're on public property. We're allowed to do what?
The advert doesn't say that.
We've got a great point.
It might have that on my
James.
t-shirt, but that's it.
Not an anarchist.
We didn't put that on.
It said stand up to Brexit,
That's different.
which we are doing.
Now, there are various Brexits going on. Let me explain what the board's about.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Okay, so this is you're undemocratically destroying the whole.
No, we're just asking
Yes,
people
you
their
are.
opinion. Let me.
There are-
You agreed that I explain what the board meant. All right. Okay. What this board is about is very simple. In Parliament at the moment, they're stuck. Which is a fact.
Because
They can't
you
It
have
has
haven't
nothing to do
between.
with it.
They can agree
Absolutely
against,
nothing to
but
do
they
with
can't
it.
agree for. So you've got about 200 MPs for that. You've got about 200 MPs for that, ish, and you've got about 200 MPs that want Remain.
Sorry.
Between
You
them,
think
they
that
can
what you're
agree.
doing
They
is
don't want the Remain,
polarising.
They don't want May deal. They don't want to Remain.
No,
What we're
I don't.
doing is trying
Look,
to-
I'm part of the Gilets jaunes movement, and I personally
from crashing out.
Personally, I believe that there is no politics. There's no left, there's no right. As soon as you put on a yellow vest, your ideals, your ideologies go out the window.
What's your purpose? What's your aim?
My purpose? I am anti-globalism. I am anti-elitism. I am for the every.
What are you in favour of apart from yellow?
What am I in favour of?
Yeah.
I am in favour of making the people that are making the decisions in countries held responsible for their actions. Now, this isn't happening at the moment.
We're not making decisions. We're trying to establish a debate.
But you are. You're making decisions trying to force your own ideologies onto other people.
No, look, that's what people have said. And
I'm sorry, but these are just dots on a piece of paper.
So
That's all it is.
Do you want to disrupt what we're doing?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm a neutral territory, I'm just
Yeah, but
observing.
you've come here, you've dressed in a military uniform and you're filming us. And you're saying you are not trying to disrupt what we're doing, which is to establish a debate.
How are you establishing a debate?
We're asking people what their opinion is. Why are you here? I can't understand.
Why am I here? I'm here because my friends who live here say that the majority of people voted to leave Brexit.
They did.
Now,
They did.
you in the minority are trying to force your opinions on other people so that the tides have
trying to
changed
engage.
so that a second referendum will come about.
But the majority of people in Bolton did vote to leave.
To leave, yes. So why are you on the streets saying that you want to stay in the EU? Because why?
Because if you
That's
lose,
undemocratic.
Can I answer your question?
Of course.
We have elections in this country, and if you vote for the party that loses the election, the other party controls the government. That doesn't mean to say that I have to change my opinion and support what the government does. Is that right? In a democracy, I'm allowed to maintain my opinion.
That's what a true democracy is about, absolutely.
And the next time an election comes round, I can exercise my will and choose how I vote.
Okay.
That's democracy.
It is,
what
absolutely.
You're implying is that democracy finished on June the 23rd, 2016, and that no one can support the
I wouldn't have said on that date, no, not at all. I believe it...
But you're suggesting that we can't have any more democracy, or any more
No.
debate.
That I did not say that at all. That's you saying that.
Well, what did you say? You said I'm trying to force my opinions on people.
Well,
I'm
you are.
debating.
Look,
No, wait,
okay, so if you took 58, how much was it? Like 54.9% of these people would have said leave. So you're trying to force your will on those 58.9% of people to try...
You're forcing your presence on us by coming in your military garb, filming us.
In a military garb. You think the yellow vest is a military garb? It is not. It is a symbol of unity. It's a symbol of
unity
everything
for
that
what?
going...
Unity for what? You haven't
The
told me what
people.
you're standing for yet.
I absolutely have.
Well, you said what
The
you're
whole
against.
movement is
You
behind...
said what you're against.
I did not. I said that I am for the people, for the politicians that need to be held responsible for their actions. Now,
Do you believe in love?
no, not at all.
You don't believe in love?
No, not at
Do you
all.
believe in compassion?
Yes, to an extent, yes.
Do you believe in free debate?
Absolutely. That is what
Do you
democracy
believe
is
in
all
friendship?
about. Well, where are we going with this?
I'm asking what you believe in.
Okay. I do believe in friendship.
Okay. Well, debate should be a friendly activity, and I feel a bit threatened by you arriving in your
Why would you?
in your uniforms and
It's not the yellow vest is not a uniform. It's a
So why do you wear it?
Your own.
Why do you wear it?
Because it's a sign of solidarity. It's a sign of unity. Again, with whom? The Yellow Vest movement, who are anti.
Yeah, no.
everything.
What are you for? I know you're
What am I
anti.
for?
You're anti everything, but what's the yellow?
Not anti-everything. No, the whole vest movement is the idea that people are actually held accountable for what they're doing. And I personally believe that. Gone are the days of having our voices oppressed. I'm talking more about on the mainland, but here
in 3 years' time, when the Yellow Vest movement is triumphant, how would society operate in a more positive way?
Well, therefore, direct democracy now, and that there's a lot of questions still behind that need answers. Direct democracy. I wouldn't go as far as the Chartist movement, but there has to be Chartism.
Chartism, the only difference between what we have now and Chartism is that they demanded annual elections.
Yeah, I know. That's why it didn't work.
I think we should have more elections. I'm uneasy about direct democracy. A, because we'd have to be voting all the time on every little bit.
Yeah.
But also, direct democracy is what killed Socrates and Jesus. Do you want to kill Jesus? It's a good. Chartism, I think Chartism is a good. I would support that, because clearly there are things wrong with the way democracy operates. But it does make me feel uneasy that you three arrive and film us. I mean, it makes me feel threatened. Do you understand that?
Do you mind us recording you if you're...
No, I'd rather you didn't, actually.
Well, I'm not recording you. You've asked me
to... All I'm saying to your colleague is that for you three to arrive in your yellow vests and filming us, that makes me feel threatened. Do you understand that?
Yeah. We're not here to do that, actually. We're not, yeah. I'm going to stop filming, right? But I'll just explain,
It does make us feel threatened, as if you are trying to force something on us.
Right, okay, so let me...
But that's your own personal opinion, which you're completely...
Feelings are facts. It's my feeling.
Oh, okay, let me point something out here, yeah. So I'm a libertarian myself, yeah, and obviously
he's just asked us not to, so we've...
Yeah, and I've asked them not to film us.
So I'm not.
Right. Yeah, we stopped filming.
Very kind.
No worries.
We stopped filming, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, I understand. But if people don't want to be filmed, yeah, that's fine. Right. So the thing is about it, yeah, is personally I think there's a lot of polarisation in society. So I'll tell you that I didn't vote, yeah, in Brexit referendum at all. But if I did vote, now I would vote for Brexit purely because the democratic decision at the time was to go with Brexit, and I respect democracy absolutely, yeah.
But wait a minute, so respecting democracy is not the same as respecting the results of a particular election. It's entirely legitimate for you to vote for the thing that doesn't get voted for, to maintain your own opinion. So you can vote again next time. So
yeah, but I don't think that you should just run a perpetual state of elections until you get the result that you want.
I don't think the constitution of this country. I don't think we should have a referendum as well as representative democracy. We're committed to represent.
I'm a subscriber of direct democracy myself. I think that politicians' powers should be seriously limited because they just don't do the will of the people.
In a number of ways, by having more elections and by saying to politicians, you can only sit in Parliament for 10 years or 5 years. That's the way that you can control it. Direct democracy has a real problem in as much as a lot of the stuff that we ask our MPs to decide upon are immensely complicated. And I haven't got the bloody time to find out about nuclear energy or fracking or this sort of stuff. That's a major problem, isn't it? That because our attention spans these days are so short, very few people have the time or go into detail about how things work. That's why we need...
Well, see, here's the thing about this, right? This is where we're not taught political philosophy at school. Yeah? Many people don't even understand the difference between a constitutional monarchy, a republic, and a direct democracy. Yeah, even though they're all forms of democracy, you wouldn't. They're not.
That's what people are told.
People don't really understand that. Now, one thing that I can say is that Liechtenstein and Switzerland are both direct democracies, and they're both in the top per capita earning countries in the world. Yeah. So I think there is some merit for this, because all of the direct democracies in the world have higher per capita wages than conservative or socialist or even liberal democracies.
So listen, look, I'm beginning to enjoy this conversation, but I've got to go shopping with my wife, and I'm 5 minutes later already. And although I felt threatened by you filming me, I feel more threatened by being late for her.
Absolutely.
Okay. So have a good time, guys.
Right, what's your name
It was
anyway?
really, my name's Dave, but I did. It was unnerving. You coming up with your yellow, filming us.
Yeah,
So,
well, I understand this, right? So what the YouTube channel that we run it's basically to try and challenge the polarisation in society, because I see the left and the right
Well, we've had
becoming sharper and sharper.
But we've had a perfectly reasonable conversation. I suspect we come from different angles. I mean, that's what we need is civility.
I'm on the right, he's a
In the way
libertarian,
that
you're
you
a
debate,
left
in the way that you... Oh, no.
Well, you used to be conservative.
I used to vote like that myself.
No, I mean, the thing is, you need to
Exactly.
debate rather than... I mean, we've had people walking by who just shout and swear at us.
Yeah, because they're part of the probably the 54.9, is it? 54.9% of people.
No,
are left.
58.3.
You need to be able to have a
58.3%
debate without
people
slagging
that
off
live here.
people that are talking to the guys. I mean, it's not really good.
All right then. Well, that was interesting. I held my own on that one, guys.
The point I'm getting to is,
Do you mind if we film? Do you mind if we film?
the point that I'm getting to is that the European Union is a super state, and that super state is
as much as the US is a superstate or China is a superstate. It's only the same. If by superstate it simply means big.
and it's trying to dominate. The European Union is trying to dominate.
Actually not.
Actually, in America, you have true democracy. In the EU,
No,
it's
I
not
would disagree with you
EU.
there.
No, EU
The
is a
American democracy
dictatorship.
is actually bought. It's paid
bought.
for by a few rich people who get a chance to get elected. You haven't got piles of money,
Okay.
you don't get a chance.
Yeah, we
So
have
the
to.
US isn't a democracy.
They are not mine. The fees are mine.
So right, basically, do you believe that the EU is a proper democracy?
Yes. Far more. We've just discussed.
So
it's a shame you didn't film it because we've just done that.
I just want to ask a question to do with that, right? So, if we don't vote for Jean-Claude Juncker and Michel Barnier and Donald Tusk and all these, how is it a democracy?
They don't run it. They are heads of the civil service.
But if they create the laws that the MEPs vote on...
You don't vote for the heads of the civil service in the UK, do you? You don't even know who they are. It's the same thing. The Commission
I don't
is
agree
a
with that,
civil
though.
service. That's it. The laws in the EU are done simply by the heads of the 28 governments getting together and say, we want to have a rule on this. So they ask the Commission to write it. The Commission comes
Donald
up with a draft.
Tusk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to write
Donald
it.
Tusk.
It then goes back to the European Council, which is the heads of the governments. They look at it and say, oh, that's not quite right, we want it this way. So they send it back, it gets changed. When they agree it then goes to the European Parliament to be voted on, and the same thing happens again.
I find that very anti-democratic.
That's how it is.
myself.
That's how it is.
Yeah, but I find that
Then-
really anti-democratic.
No way. They're all elected, these people.
so removed from the people on the ground.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, but I want to change that. Right now, hang on. Let me finish. So you've got 28 prime ministers. You've got 600 odd MEPs that we vote for.
27.
Those are all elected. When they've passed it, it goes to the national parliaments that we've all voted for in our countries, and they vote on it and pass it eventually, or not pass it.
What if they're not carrying out the will of the people? What happens if you have MEPs who don't follow the will of the people?
Well, what is the will of the people? It changes all the time.
I would say the will of the people is what they vote for in referendums, generally.
Until we have...
2.5 years ago.
I'd like to leave the European Union.
Well, that's fine. I'd like to stay. That's two different people in the same country.
It is, but the majority, and this is the whole idea of a democracy. It was a massive turnout, and the majority of the people.
It is unsafe to vote against something. It's far safer to vote for something. The Brexit vote was a vote against.
I wouldn't
not a vote
necessarily
for.
agree with that. You wouldn't vote for Hitler, would you?
Yeah, but the Brexit vote was a vote against the EU, not a vote for a solution.
And that's exactly what the people wanted.
Yeah, but the people have various different versions of Brexit they'd like to see, and it's obvious.
No. They didn't vote for various different options. They voted to leave the European Union.
Correct.
That
correct.
was it.
But they all have different views.
And that's
when
what they voted
Farage
for.
was standing up pre-referendum, he was saying no one is talking about leaving the single market and the customs union. Fact, it's on video.
Right,
Find it.
okay. This is another
Now,
fact.
as soon as it
I
happens-
stood there in that space, and
Oh,
I
sure.
said,
Absolutely.
we want to leave the
Well,
European
that's fine.
Union.
You're proving my point.
And
So people voted for Brexit for different reasons, with different solutions in mind. All the people's vote is about is asking people which sort of Brexit, or no Brexit at all, would you like? Because we've gone past the point now where it's just Brexit. It's what sort of Brexit. Mrs. May
what
has a
form of
different
Brexit do you want then?
I don't want one.
You don't want a Brexit
No,
at all?
No. That's fine. On the ballot paper, you'd have no Brexit at all. You could have Mrs. May's deal. You could have no deal.
So
and people
in
would
effect,
decide.
really, what it's becoming is the option to reverse the referendum. If you put no
yes,
Brexit
as one,
at all.
as one, and also the option to say which form of Brexit you would like
all right,
instead.
so you started the conversation saying people would have a democratic choice to decide which kind of Brexit they wanted, but no, you've added into the mix.
I said all the way through.
You don't want
I said all the way through. They
the
would
option
also
would be
have an option
if you don't want to have one, then
course.
that's fine. So that in effect is nullifying the referendum.
No, it's not. It's not.
That referendum is void.
The referendum
and you can have
started the
you know, you
process, and it allowed the government to go out and discuss how they could possibly leave. The problem is, what they've decided to do can't pass. We're stuck. We're stuck. We can't no deal. We can't make
Well, we
deal.
can no
and we
deal.
can't remain.
We can no deal if
can't.
we choose to.
Because there's only 200 MPs that support it. So there's 400 against. They won't let that happen.
Yeah, all right.
Would that not
So you
mean that
can't.
those 200 MPs are going against the will of the people that voted for them, considering that we voted for
Possibly.
Brexit?
But the problem, our system here is representative democracy. It's not direct democracy. We elect an MP for 5 years for them to decide what's best for the people.
What's
So
your opinion
why
on
should
direct
they-
democracy
why-
then?
That is the system.
What is your opinion on direct democracy?
Direct democracy might have worked in Athens when there were about 500 people voting.
Yeah.
Once you get above that number, it doesn't work. You
Well,
can't
what about
do it.
Switzerland?
They don't have direct democracy. They have lots of referenda.
They do have a
Do you
very
realise-
it's
yes,
almost
they do.
direct democracy.
It's closer to a direct
Liechtenstein's a direct democracy,
Yes,
and they're
but
the highest
in
earners per
Switzerland,
capita
if
in the
you're
world.
going to change the constitution, which is what this is about, it has to be a 2/3 majority.
So why should people
And
why should 1%
one
of people?
second. And not only does it have to be 2/3 majority, you have to do it twice. There has to be a second referendum in Switzerland
So
by
why
law.
should people?
So you
why,
go through all the mess,
why
and the
should the
discussions and everything,
bureaucrats
and then you
in
have another
Europe
one at the end.
make
You're gonna decide
decisions
that's what we
about
want.
what is
we
best
have
for
technology to
the
make-
United
Yeah, but
Kingdom?
you're
I
saying
don't
we
agree
don't want
with
another
this.
vote.
I don't agree
That's
with
exactly
that
what
at all.
Switzerland does.
Why should
We
the
don't want another vote.
why should a
Under
handful
this
of
system,
fat
no,
cats
you're
sit
saying
around a big table
that.
and make
You're saying Sweden
decisions
is a good model.
on
That's what
what
they
is
do.
best for
Well, I
us?
said it was closer
What's
to
best for us in the UK?
But
Obviously,
voting
what's
isn't
best for the British people is not going to be the same as what's the best for Italians or French or the Spanish. There has to be different rules
Pleasure
for
talking to you.
different.
Have fun, guys.
What's your name anyway?
John.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have fun.
Nice to meet you, sir. Right, so that was interesting. We had a lengthy debate, discussion. Pretty much they reiterating the same points over and over and over again. They want a people's vote, and the people's vote is on, in their words, what kind of Brexit they want, which is just ridiculous. just absolutely ridiculous, you know. There's so far so good. They felt threatened by the yellow vest. I don't know why. It's a bit ridiculous really, but we're going back here. Go back.
It's changing, I agree. But not back to nation states, because that won't work. All that'll happen is China will decide what happens. Trump will do what Putin tells him, and that'll be it.
Well,
it's China, the US and Russia that decide what happens in the world. If the EU disappeared, that voice would be gone. We'd have no say. That's where he's died. Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. Thank you. See you later.
So, if the EU left, if there was no EU, the world would have no voice. My God.
Yeah.
Really?
You left it on my thing.
Oh, did I? Keep hydrated, people. Keep hydrated. See what they're doing here? They are bringing people off the streets to try and persuade them.
Mainly of ethnic minorities. Which
And
would
why
give
do
you a
think
skewed
that
view.
is? Why do
Well,
you
it
think
would
that
give you a
be?
skewed view. Obviously, anyone who's not born here who has been given an opportunity to come here, so you're going to get a skewed opinion if you choose people from particular backgrounds to vote on your thing. So your poll will be an inaccurate poll, basically.
Yeah.
So they are polling people, but they're doing it in a very selective way, which will give you a very inaccurate result.
Nice chips? Nice chips. Buy Walkers, buy British. Have your say about Brexit? I don't think so, guys. I think that's a bit of a joke what they're doing, but hey, we live in a democracy and you're entitled to your own opinions, to your own beliefs, but we're wearing our yellow vests in town centre. We're getting a few looks from people, which is good. No? Anyway. Right, so what are we going to do now, guys?
you fancy some lunch?
Yeah.
A nice vegan vegetarian cafe
Oh
around the
yeah,
corner.
this guy here is a vegan. Yeah, so hell, I'm not eating vegan. Oh, I hope that wasn't. Right. So now we're going to go get some lunch. I'll go back live in, I don't know, half an hour or so. Bolton's not that bad, you know. 58.9% people voted to leave here. Again, there's still that almost near 50-50 split. So you're always going to get one side of people saying, "Oh, we want to stay," the other half saying we want to leave. So it's always been like that throughout history, though. You always have the left and the right. We had some quite a good amount of viewers though when we were doing that, which is good. Hey? We had some really good numbers of you. Look, we still got people live, even now.
How many?
Hey guys, peace. 9 people. I shared in the Gilets Jaunes. So I've got French, I've got Dutch. Yeah. We need to figure something out like this for our news channel, and we need to sit down and nail out all the ins and outs of how we're going to do this as well, you know.
Don't really fucking that guy.
Huh?
Talking to each other.
for about 20 minutes. He was explaining. He'd come over to challenge them. Yeah.
I got him on. Yeah.
Did you see that chat what they're doing? Fair play to them. They put all them stickers. I'm sure they probably fudged the as well.
That's what I said. They just stickers on.
It was just about the majority when I was counting them out that wanted to leave the European Union. I reckon there'll be a few stickers going on the side later. Just to show that even after all this time, they're saying 2.5 years or whatever, it's, you know, people don't want to leave the European Union. Yes, they still do. They still want to. We've seen it today. Even their own chart, their own measles chart that they put up, said that they don't. You know, the people said that they still want to leave the European Union. Simple.
Oh, that's the anti-democratic lot out. Trying to put the fake polls across by selectively choosing who puts stickers on their board. Amazing poll. Very accurate.
Who gets what colour? Right. You can put yours. You get a red dot today.
Yeah. Get some children to put things on there and give them a sticker every time they put a dot on the right side.
Yeah.
You know, they get a very, very, very accurate result. Now, they've got to get with the programme with this kind of thing and realise that people don't buy that kind of a poll, yeah. Polls should always be done behind closed doors, yeah. That's how you get an accurate poll, yeah. You ask people a question, you fill it in, they can put it in an envelope that's closed, no one else can see it, and you'll get an accurate opinion from people. But when you do it on the street and you confront somebody,
would be like, oh, it's Russia collusion and they're meddling again.
well, everything's about Russia, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely everything.
Russia is the
Putin and Donald Trump have got a lot to answer to for this Russian collusion stuff. They're manipulating the entire world, these two people, into thinking that everything that they think is wrong.
Go on, let's get a coffee. Discuss our findings. Vegan and vegetarian places for you, Alex.
Vegan and vegetarian, is it? Oh God. Smell. It smells vegetarian.
Coffee?
Right, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I'm going offline.
Just a regular coffee.
Um,
An Americano.